I got the chance to play the demos of 3 different 3D platformers over Steam Next Fest, and my goodness, I have to talk about them. So Steam Next Fest is going on right now, and honestly, it is always a delight every single year to get a chance to play demos for games that are coming out soon, to much later down the line, to maybe not ever seeing the light of day. It does kind of feel that way sometimes. It feels like Steam Next Fest is kind of this big integral part of the actual creative process in terms of developing as well. So many just amazing looking indie games. I got a chance to play Everhood 2, which is super weird and really cool. White Knuckle, which is just a wild video game. And so many. Wheel World looks fantastic. There's Skin Deep is one that I haven't had my eyes on for a little while. Just some ridiculously cool ideas, some ridiculously funky looking games. I do want to focus on 3 of them. And again, as I mentioned, they are 3 3D platformers. 2 of them I've been really looking forward to, and one of them just came kind of out of nowhere. So the first game I want to talk about is one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, to be honest. We saw it at some Nintendo Direct, I think, or maybe just the trailer popped up and just I found it on my feed or something. And that is Ruffy on the Riverside. This game is absolutely bonkers. For starters, I don't think I've ever really seen a game that looks like this before. I mean, I've seen the sort of 2D flat images moving in a 3D space, like a la Paper Mario or even Demon Turf. We will be talking about the successor to that here in a little bit as well. But it just looks absolutely incredible. I love the sketchy design. I love the animations of the character. This main character, Ruffy, whenever he moves, he's just kind of spastic and weird and goofy and just fantastic. The game just absolutely oozes style and charm from the very get-go. Like, the characters are just immediately funny. It's immediately zany. It's super cute. It feels like something that would have existed on the 64. It just has this very strong identity. Again, right from the very start. And I just was very impressed with how quickly I was able to kind of fall in love with the vibe and just with the overall game feel. The main gimmick of the game is kind of insane and is something that I've never seen in a video game before. You're basically aiming at an object and pulling its essence and throwing it onto another object. You see a tree, you can pull the wood material off of that tree and throw it on a stone box and turn it into a wooden box. And then now I can destroy that box because it's made out of wood. There's a giant river and you need to get around it. Turn that river into vines and you can climb up it. Or you could literally turn the whole river into just like this lava moat. It's absolutely insane. I thought that would, I saw that in the trailers, obviously. I thought there would be more limitations to that. They give you a lot of freedom to experiment. They give you a lot of freedom to try things out and figure things out. There's like this immediate sort of puzzle-solvey element to the platforming and to the exploration, which is just, again, immediately fun. The levels are just ridiculously fun, too. One of my favorite instances of gameplay throughout all of Steam Next Fest, honestly, was this very simple beach level in this game. For starters, the music is just ridiculously good. I don't know who's doing this music, but it's incredible. Immediately catchy right off the bat. The main Ruffy theme is super cool. There's some like vocal tracks that kind of have this like upbeat rap sound to them, which is just super fun and goofy. This beach level was ridiculous. You could basically turn the entire beach into ice. All of the water could just be frozen over, and then you can kind of skate along. And there was these puzzles on every little island and every little area. And there's a lot of like demo limitations here as well. There's these like big invisible walls that you'll see. And of course, past those invisible walls are the most exciting aspects of the game, right? It's teasing you. It's teasing the player to say, hey, you need to buy this game so you can fully explore these areas. And yeah, I think they kind of got me, man. I really do. Definite Mario 64 vibes. Definite like Mario Odyssey vibes, to be honest. It's got that banjo kind of thing going on as well. You're collecting stars. You're collecting these little butterflies. There's also these like little Karibo like fur baby things that you can find in every level, I think. Also really fun. I mentioned Odyssey because you are also hopping into walls, similar to how Odyssey worked, where there's like these like big 2D segments where you play as like classic Mario inside the walls of levels. There is that mechanic here, and I didn't really get to experiment with it too much. There was only like one instance that it happened in the demo, but it was really cool. You were able to like turn water within the wall into lava to like burn this monster so you can go in and get the star. Lots of like puzzles like that. Lots of like do this thing to get this thing. And it was remaining fresh throughout the demo. It never hit a roadblock in the demo. I kept experimenting with it, turning like water into sand, created quicksand, and that I was able to get a chest that way. And going into town, there was this little side quest or this little objective where I was helping these people get paintings on their canvas. I was like pulling it from a stand, and then I was able to throw it on their canvas, and I got a star for that. Like, just lots of fun exploration stuff too. There was also this really cool like Tony Hawk themed level, straight up like Slam City Jam vibes. You're on this half pipe riding a hay bale, doing crazy tricks in the air. A lot of depth here as well. Like there's long tricks, there's short tricks. You got to add spins to add boost. There's just a lot of variety going on in this game. If you watch the trailer as well, you'll see a lot more that's not in this demo. There's a lot of levels, it looks like. There's a lot of variety. It just felt so fresh and so fun. Ruffy is a game that I've had my eyes on for quite some time, and it felt so gratifying playing this demo and just like, yes, it's actually really, really good. It's actually really, really fun. This gimmick does work really well. I shouldn't say gimmick. It's a mechanic. It's a full-blown, really, really awesome and unique mechanic within the game. And I'm honestly there day one. I got really excited playing this demo, and yeah, I think I'm there for the full release. I really am. It is just absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. All of the links will be down in the description below for you guys to check these out on Steam as well. But I believe this game's coming to Switch. It's coming to PlayStation. I think it's going to be on everything as well. So yeah, look out. Ruffy's coming. The next game I want to talk about is Demon Tides. This is the spiritual successor to Demon Turf by Fabraz. I follow Fabraz on Twitter. I've been following this guy for a while now, kind of just watching the creative process behind both of these games in terms of the photo mode, in terms of the art style and how the characters move, a lot of like cloth movement and things. I definitely recommend following Fabraz on social media to get kind of an insight into all of this stuff. But Demon Tides is, man, it's a really wild video game. So Demon Tides, if you don't know, is an open world 3D platformer. It's got like Mario Odyssey vibes, obviously. I would actually say Bowser's Fury vibes because of that open world nature. But also it kind of feels like Wind Waker too, because you are like sailing island to island. It's a very like it's island based, you know, there's water everywhere, and there's like basically just levels as far as the eye can see. You could put the game in photo mode and look around, and you just see points of interest literally at every single turn. Every time you move your view in this game, you want to go there. And that, for me specifically, is just ridiculously exciting. I do want to talk about movement. The main character, Beebs, that is the main character's name, by the way, feels kind of weighty, like heavy. And this isn't a bad thing. It's not like sluggish or anything, just heavy. It's kind of hard to describe without just playing the game, to be honest, but I don't know, I kind of like how the game feels. It took a little while to get used to. There's also like 10 to 12 different ways to jump in this game. You have obviously a double jump, you have a triple jump, you have a back forward jump, there's air dashes, there's like a little air spin, and you can combo off of all of those things as well. There's wall running, there's obviously like wall bouncing, and stuff that you can unlock too. There's like these little talismans that you get that can unlock even more jumps. And I know that sounds ridiculously overwhelming, but I promise you, as soon as you like get used to how your character moves and controls, it just becomes really, really fun to jump around. I completely forgot to mention, you can also turn into a snake. That's actually how you're traversing between island to island, is you're just speeding through the water, speeding through the ocean in this like snake form. And there's these little challenges you'll find throughout the open world as well, and even within the levels, where you're like going through these rings, and it's ridiculously fun. There's like these little races you have to do. And when I say levels, I do mean like islands. Everything is seamless. There's no loading. There's no like gates we're going through, or at least not in the demo. Everything is seamless. Everything is readily available to you. And again, the exploration is truly something special. It is just so exciting to see these like giant towers out in the horizons on some island far away, or a big like temple like structure, or there's like this big castle in the sky that has like this eye on it, and there's these like big chains that you can find, or There's outposts scattered throughout the open world, there's shipwrecks, and I'm sure there's a lot of other crazy things that I haven't even seen yet. It is really, really fun just to surf around and find random little things to do. And the game doesn't really push you in any one direction either. You're kind of just free to go and just start exploring right off the bat. The game is gorgeous. Really, really pretty visually. I love the art style, obviously. Again, Demon Tides is a sequel to Demon Turf, and Demon Turf had like a 2D, 3D kind of mixture style similar to Ruffy, and this is now full 3D, and I think that transition really works here. I love the way the characters look. The cell shading is fantastic. The way cloth and the hair and just how bouncy and kind of gooby everything feels. I don't know if gooby is the right word, but that's how I would describe how the characters move. Also, just the general design of the characters are super creative. You could definitely tell the creator of this game has a vision and has a style, and it just oozes all over this game. It really does. I don't fully understand what's going on story-wise, but there is a lot of stuff going on story-wise. This game does have like kind of a narrative. I don't want to say it's intrusive, but there is a good amount of dialogue. Definitely like prepare yourself. You gotta like, this is a real game. It's an open world game. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's lore. There's characters. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and you gotta kind of prepare yourself. Like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I think when you're jumping into a demo, you kind of have a little less patience, especially how I consume the demos, like doing like a stream grab bag situation where I'm playing 5 or 6 demos in one night. But definitely if I were to like take my time in the full release and just like really engross myself in these characters and in this world, I think I would find even more enjoyment out of it. There's also like this strand mechanic too. There's like this spray paint stuff that you can do, which is also like pretty in depth, and you can tag things pretty much anywhere in the world, and those are going to appear in other people's games, and their stuff will appear in your game, and you can like their little spray paint things that they made. And I thought that was just really clever. I really did. Kind of like a Dark Soulsian thing going on, because you can like point to treasure and point to directions to go. Like I saw a lot of people saying, hey, use your photo mode here to look this way, and then you'll see like some island in the distance. Okay, I guess I'll go there. That's really, really cool, and I love that kind of stuff being thrown into these kinds of games. I think it keeps stuff really, really fresh. Fresh is the big word I'll use here. My goodness gracious, this game just felt incredibly original. I don't think I've ever played anything quite like it. Chia would be like the closest example that I can think of, that it feels like kind of has this like open world vibe, but this is definitely way more platformy. Like we are doing crazy jumps between things. There's moving platforms, there's big towers you have to climb, there's that kind of going on. It does have like a Mario vibe to it, and I honestly just fell in love with it. This one was hard to put down. The demo, I wanted to keep going. I had to move on to the next demo because, again, this was a grab bag stream, but I didn't want to stop. And honestly, at this point, I'm just waiting for the full release. I really, really loved the Demon Tides demo, and I really hope that people give this game a shot, because I do think that it could garner a big fan base. These characters are super cute and fun looking, and there's that lore. There's just a lot going on with the identity of this game that I think deserves a bigger audience, So yeah, definitely give Demon Tides a shot. It's fantastic. Lastly, I want to talk about Kero Quest 64. And this one, I don't really have too much to say about it, if I'm being honest with you. If Demon Tides and Ruffy are kind of a fresh new coat of paint on an older genre with new mechanics and story elements and open world stuff going on, this is more so that old genre, just refined. Kero Quest 64, I believe, is done by like some Mario 64 modders, and you can tell as soon as you play it, you can absolutely tell this game feels kind of like a dream to control. Just immediately, like it feels like I've played it before. It feels like a game I've played before. In terms of level design, it's really, really great. Just immediately, the demo at least just throws you in right off the bat. You're just already on an adventure. You already know what to do. There's like a brief tutorial, but again, you kind of already know what to do. And it's gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous. They captured that N64 aesthetic so well here. It's goofy. Everything is goofy. Everything is voxely, and everything just looks super, super fun. One of my favorite moments playing this demo was just entering a level and then looking up and then just seeing the level sort of sprawled out in front of my eyes and seeing the verticality of everything, seeing coins and pickups just kind of floating around like, holy moly, I'm going way up there. There's these weird like birds flying. Like, I know I'm going to interact with those birds way up there. There's water beneath me as well. I know I'm going to be able to swim in this water. Just really big, like sandboxy, Mario 64 like levels. And my goodness, they're just really, really fun to explore. Look, the game plays to its strengths, man. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not trying to do anything mechanically different or drastic, like Ruffy or Demon Tides. There is this tongue mechanic that I forgot to mention. You can like use your tongue and like flip up things, and that's pretty cool. What I'm trying to say is it's very much like Mario 64, and that's okay. It does it so well. It's so fun to play. And as you can tell, like this whole video, it's unscripted. I have said fun many, many times already throughout this video, but I truly mean it. 3D platformers in general are, I felt like something that kind of just disappeared in the gaming landscape for the last few years, but you're starting to see them kind of pop back up. There's a lot more stuff happening in the indie scene, but there's also a lot more stuff happening in the AAA scene as well. You know, like bigger companies are starting to pay more attention to this genre. This is not a dead genre. People do want to play these games, and that's what I enjoyed most about these demos. That's why I wanted to focus on these three, because it just felt like what I love so much, what I originally fell in love with in gaming, and that's just having a good time, having fun, exploring levels and picking items up and doing goofy things. And these games, these three titles, did it extremely well. Make sure to comment down below and give me your thoughts on these games. Have you played them? And if not, definitely consider doing so. Again, I have the Steam pages in the description below. All the demos, I believe, are still available at the time of uploading, so definitely give them a shot. If you enjoy 3D platformers, I can almost guarantee you will find enjoyment in at least one of these games. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button. If you enjoyed anything that I had to talk about today, consider subscribing. We do basically weekly videos here. That's the plan anyway. You can also consider following me on Twitch. I streamed all of these demos. We did like a Steam Next Fest grab bag thing. We do a lot of that kind of stuff on the channel, and it's always a lot of fun, and I would love to have you there. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, party on.